Very different from the next few verses. The fruit of the Spirit is what? Love, joy, peace, gentleness, goodness, faith, meekness, self-control. Against such there is no law. So there's the contrast between the world and the church. Anything that is driven to satisfy your fleshly lust, your sinful lust, comes from the kingdom of darkness. You can't love the world when that is what it does. Secondly, the lust of the eyes. I see it, I want it. If this is not the most severe case of I see it, I want it in human history, you not only can see it and want it, you can have it delivered in 24 hours. We are bewitched. Lot's wife saw it and wanted it and was turned to a pillar of salt. Achan saw it and wanted it and was stoned to death. Samson saw it and wanted it, lost his life. David saw it and wanted it. Disastrous immorality. Psalm 119:37 gives us very important instruction. Turn away your eyes from beholding vanity. Turn away your eyes from beholding vanity. The world is designed, and all its mechanisms are designed to allure you through the impulses of your flesh and through your eyes. I remember when I was a kid, a line that stuck in my mind for some reason. Some guy was selling a car on television. He said, "Feast your eyes on that little beauty." I don't think a car salesman would say that anymore. It's a little archaic. But that is exactly what lust of the eyes is. It's feasting your eyes on some temporal pleasure, appealing to your baser desires. The lust of the eyes may be a little bit more acceptable and a little bit more sophisticated than the lust of the flesh, but you can be seduced by what you see, and what you see can soon go from being the lust of your eyes to being the lust of your flesh. Thirdly, the pride of life, boastful pride, alazania. The pride of life, it touches every area of life. You want to have a life that's on display. You want to show off your life. Does the internet feed that? Does social media feed that? Pride destroys everything because it debases everyone else. It destroys all relationships. Because relationships only survive when people are selfless. So there are three springs of evil in the system of the world: sensuality, covetousness, and pride. Sensuality is the corruption of the lower part of man's being, the unlawful gratification of his bodily desires. Covetousness is the corruption of a higher part, the corruption of a lawful appreciation for beauty that becomes an unlawful abuse. Pride is the corruption of the even higher part, the highest part of man, his very being. And the ultimate corruption is self-exaltation. So you go from the lowest gratification of your bodily desire, which is usually something you do in private, to covetousness, which is possessing something you see with your eyes that you don't mind sharing with other people. That's kind of the point. Up to the highest level, where all you want to do is exalt yourself. So you go from the reality that Satan wants you to do things you have to hide. He wants you to do things you get to share, and he wants you to do things that elevate you above everyone else. By sensuality, we sink to a level lower than the animals. By pride, we rise to a high level to compete with God. That's how the devil fell. He was lifted up with pride. Listen, this is what the world does. This is what it does. So we don't love the world because of what it is. It is Satan's kingdom. Because of who we are God's family. Because of what it does, it seduces us to sin. And one final point. We don't love the world because of where it is going. Verse 17. Some of you are saying, I can't wait till the next election. I got news for you. It's not going to be any different. It's still the world. So here's what you ought to be looking for. The world is passing away. And when it goes, its lusts go also. Don't hook your wagon to that. That is a losing strategy. That's a losing strategy. Why waste your energy when the world is passing away? Paragate. It is disintegrating. It is falling apart. It is in the process of dissolution because it's rotten top to bottom, side to side, front to back. It will self-destruct because the death principle is fully operative at every possible point. It carries about within it its own destruction. And then you add to it the destruction that God will bring. 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 describes that destruction. There will come a time when the Lord comes and he will smash, of course, the Antichrist with the breath of his mouth, chapter 2, verse 8, by the appearance of his coming. The one whose coming was in accord with the activity of Satan, the power and signs and false wonders and all the deception of wickedness for those who perish because they didn't receive the love of the truth so as to be saved. For this reason, God will send on them a deluding influence so they will believe what is false. Sound familiar? In order that they all may be judged who didn't believe the truth but took pleasure in wickedness. The Lord is coming. Chapter 1 describes what that's going to look like. When verse 8 of chapter 1 or verse 7, the Lord will be revealed from heaven with his mighty angels in flaming fire, dealing out retribution to those who do not know God and to those who do not obey the gospel of our Lord Jesus. These will pay the penalty of eternal destruction away from the presence of the Lord and the glory of his power when he comes to be glorified in his saints on that day and to be marveled at among all who have believed. We're waiting for him to come. And this world is in the process of disintegration. Peter gives us even more detail. 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 10, the day of the Lord will come like a thief in which the heavens will pass away with a roar. The elements will be destroyed with intense heat. The earth and its works will be burned up. Not only will the system be judged because people don't believe, as Paul said to the Thessalonians, but the creation itself is going to go out of existence. It's going to go out of... What you have in 2 Peter 3:10 is an implosion. You have an uncreation. You have literally an atomic event by the power of God that ends with the universe going completely out of existence. You say, well, what then? Verse 13, a new heaven and a new earth in which righteousness dwells. So John says, the world is passing away. You're not. Verse 17, the one who does the will of God lives what? Forever. Don't expect anything from the world. You won't be disappointed.